Imagine two versions of yourself. Both worked hard in their 20s. Both had roughly the same income. Both thought they were doing okay, but at 45, one of them has options, financial breathing room, the ability to choose, not just survive. The other one? Still counting down to payday. Still wondering why it never seems to get easier. Still carrying the weight of decisions made 20 years ago. That felt completely harmless at the time. The difference between those two versions of you is not luck. It's not income. It's 7 specific mistakes, made quietly in your 20s, that compound just as powerfully as interest does. The good news? If you're in your 20s right now, you still have time to avoid every single one. And if you're past your 20s, it's never too late to course correct. Let's get into it. Welcome to VestWise, where we explain investing concepts in a simple way. Quick note before we dive in. This video does not contain any financial advice. Everything we cover today is purely educational, so you can make the best decision for yourself. All right, mistake number 1. Here's why your 20s matter more than almost any other decade financially. Not because you earn the most then. You almost certainly don't. Not because you have the most financial wisdom then. Most people don't. But because in your 20s, time is the one asset you have in absolute abundance, and time in finance is the single most powerful force available to anyone. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a hill. A snowball that starts rolling at the top of the hill, even if it starts small, has the entire slope to gather size and momentum. A snowball that starts halfway down, it can still grow, but it will never be as large as the one that started at the top. Your 20s are the top of the hill. Every financial mistake made there doesn't just cost you money now. It costs you the compounded version of that money 20 years from now. And every good decision made there doesn't just help you now. It multiplies, quietly, powerfully. For decades, 7 mistakes, 7 consequences, and 7 ways to fix them starting today. Let's break it down. This is the mistake that costs more than all the others combined. And it's the one that feels the most harmless when you're making it. I'm young. I have time. I'll start investing properly when I earn more. It sounds reasonable. It sounds like patience. But here's the thing. Every year you delay investing in your 20s doesn't just cost you 1 year of returns. It costs you the compounded returns on those returns for every year that follows. Let's look at real numbers. Emma starts investing $200 a month at age 22. She does this for just 10 years, then stops completely at 32, never adds another dollar. James starts investing $200 a month at age 32. He does this consistently for 30 years, all the way to 62. At 62, assuming 7% average annual returns, James invested for 3 times as long, contributed 3 times as much total money. And Emma, who stopped investing before James even started, still ends up with more because she had 10 extra years of compounding that James could never get back, according to Vanguard's compound interest research. The difference between starting at 22 versus 32 on a $200 monthly contribution can result in a gap of over $180,000 by retirement from a 10-year head start. Nothing else, the cost of "I'll do it later," not visible today. It shows up at 62. As the gap between what you have and what you could have had, your 20s are the decade of firsts. First real job, first proper salary, first apartment that's actually yours, first car that isn't falling apart. And with every step up, every raise, every promotion, comes the almost irresistible pull-to upgrade everything around you. Better apartment, nicer car, more dining out, better clothes, more travel. Each upgrade feels earned. Each one feels reasonable in isolation. But here's the catch. If your expenses rise in perfect proportion to every income increase, the gap between what you earn and what you spend never widens, and wealth only builds in that gap. Think of it like a conveyor belt. The belt keeps moving faster, your income rising, but you keep adding more weight to it, lifestyle expenses, So you're always running just to keep up. The people who build wealth in their 20s make one counterintuitive decision every time their income increases. They increase their savings rate first, before they increase their lifestyle. Not instead of enjoying life, before enjoying the rest. If you get a $500 raise, automate $300 of it into investments immediately. Enjoy the remaining $200 however you want. You still get the reward, but you also build the future. Credit cards are one of the most powerful financial tools available, and one of the most dangerous. And in your 20s, when you get your first card, when the credit limit feels like free money, the danger is at its highest. Here's what most people in their 20s don't realize about credit card debt. It doesn't feel urgent. You can make the minimum payment, keep spending, keep feeling like you're managing it, all while 20% interest compounds quietly on every dollar you owe. Think of it like carbon monoxide. You can't see it. You can't smell it. You feel fine, right up until you don't. High-interest credit card debt is the carbon monoxide of personal finance, silent, invisible, accumulating. According to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, people who carry a credit card balance from month-to-month pay an average of $1,000 or more per year in interest alone, $1,000 per year, going to interest, not to savings, not to investments, not to experiences, just interest. Used correctly, credit cards offer rewards, build credit history, and provide purchase protection. Used carelessly, they are one of the fastest ways to silently drain the wealth you're trying to build. The rule is simple. Never carry a balance you cannot pay in full at the end of the month. If you can't pay it in full, you can't afford it. Full stop. In your 20s, an emergency fund feels unnecessary. You're young, you're healthy, things generally work out. And so, the money that should go into a financial cushion goes instead into lifestyle, experiences, and things that feel more immediately rewarding until the moment it doesn't work out. Job loss, medical expense, car repair, relationship change, any one of dozens of things that life will inevitably throw at you. And without a cushion, you go into debt, or you raid whatever savings you have, or you ask family for help, and then you start over. Think of it like a phone battery. You know you should keep it charged, but you keep running it to zero because it always seems to make it through the day until the one day it doesn't. And you're stranded with no way to call for help. An emergency fund is the charge you keep in reserve, not because you plan to need it, but because life doesn't ask for your permission before it creates an emergency. The target: 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, sitting in a separate, accessible account, untouched, until it's genuinely needed, according to Bankrate's 2023 Emergency Savings Report. Nearly 60% of Americans in their 20s shave less than 1 month of expenses saved, less than 1 month. One unexpected event away from financial crisis. Build the cushion before you need it, because by the time you need it, it's already too late to build it. This one might be the most underrated mistake on this list. In your 20s, you make some of the most consequential financial decisions of your life. How much debt to take on for education, what kind of account to open, how to handle your first real salary, whether to rent or save for a home, how to start investing. And most people make all of these decisions with almost no financial education whatsoever. Not because they're not smart, but because nobody taught them. Think of it like being handed the controls of a plane with no flight training. You might figure some things out by instinct. You might even land safely, but you're taking enormous risks that trained pilots never have to take, simply because nobody gave you the knowledge you needed before you needed it. Financial literacy is not complicated. The basics: budgeting, compound interest, debt management, how to invest in index funds, can be understood by any unwilling to spend a few hours learning, but the cost of not learning, that compounds too. Every poor financial decision made from ignorance, every high-fee product bought without understanding, every investment opportunity missed, every avoidable debt accumulated, has a price that follows you for decades. The good news? You're watching this video, which means you're already doing the work. Keep going. Here's a mistake that doesn't feel like a financial mistake at all. It feels like a career decision, a personality thing, a question of whether you're the type to negotiate. But here's the thing. Your starting salary in your 20s is not just about what you earn right now. It's the foundation that every future raise is built on. Most raises are percentage-based. A 5% raise on $50. SoZone is $2,500. A 5% raise on $60,000 is $3,000. The person who negotiated that extra $10,000 at the start earns more from every raise, every bonus, every future job offer for the rest of their career, according to research by Carnegie Mellon University. Professionals who consistently negotiate their salary earn an average of $1 million more over their lifetime than those who never negotiate $1 million. From asking, think of it like compound interest, but applied to your income instead of your savings. A higher base compounds into higher raises, higher bonuses, and higher lifetime earnings, in exactly the same way that a higher investment balance compounds into greater long-term wealth. In your 20s, every salary negotiation is a financial decision with decades of consequences. Treat it that way. And finally, the mistake that quietly amplifies every other one on this list. In your 20s, social comparison is at its most intense. Your friends are buying things. People your age on social media are traveling, driving certain cars, wearing certain things, living in certain places. And the pressure, conscious or not, to match that image drives financial decisions that have nothing to do with your actual goals, values, or situation. This is called keeping up with the Joneses, and it is one of the most expensive habits a person in their 20s can develop. Think of it like running a race, but instead of running toward your finish line, you're chasing someone else's. You exhaust yourself, you spend everything you have, and you never actually arrive anywhere meaningful, because it was never your destination to begin with. Here's the catch. What you see on social media's almost never the full picture. The person posting the vacation might be doing it on credit card debt. The person with the new car might be one missed payment away from repossession. You're comparing your reality to someone else's highlight reel and making real financial sacrifices match an image that might not even be real. According to a 2023 survey by Credit Karma, nearly 40% of millennials have gone into debt specifically to keep up with the spending of friends and peers. 40% into debt to match an image. The antidote is simple, but requires genuine intention. Define your version of financial success, your goals, your timeline, your values, and make every financial decision against that standard, not against what someone else appears to have. Let's put a final picture to all of this. Two people, both 22, both starting their first real job at $45. SoZone a year. Person A makes all 7 mistakes, delays investing, inflates lifestyle with every raise, carries credit card debt, has no emergency fund, never learns about money, never negotiates salary, spends to match peers at 42. 20 years later, person A has minimal savings, significant debt, and an income that never quite kept pace with the life they were trying to live. Person B avoids all 7 mistakes, starts investing $200 a month immediately, saves the first portion of every raise, pays credit cards in full every month, builds a 6-month emergency fund by 25, rides 1 finance book per quarter, negotiates every salary, lands $8,000 more at first job, spends according to personal goals, not peer pressure. At 42, person B has over $180,000 invested and growing Zelle high-interest debt, a 6-month emergency cushion, a career trajectory that paid $200,000 more cumulatively from negotiating alone, same starting point. 20 years, a completely different financial reality from 7 decisions made quietly in their 20s. So to wrap everything up, The 7 financial mistakes in your 20s that haunt you in your 40s, and what to do instead. Mistake 1. Delaying investing. Fix. Start now, even small. Time is the asset you cannot replace. Mistake 2. Lifestyle inflation with every raise. Fix. Increase your savings rate first, then enjoy the rest. Mistake 3. Misusing credit cards. Fix. Never carry a balance you cannot pay in full. Period. Mistake 4. No emergency fund. Fix. Build 3 to 6 months of expenses before anything else. Mistake 5. Not learning about money. Fix. Invest in financial education. It compounds too. Mistake 6. Not negotiating salary. Fix. Every negotiation is a financial decision with decades of consequences. Mistake 7. Keeping up with others. Fix. Define your version of success and make every decision against that standard. Now, does avoiding all 7 of these guarantee a perfect financial future? Not automatically. Life is unpredictable. Circumstances vary enormously. But here's what the data consistently shows. The people who build real financial security by their 40s, almost universally, made better decisions in their 20s. Not perfect decisions, not extraordinary income, just better decisions made consistently over time, and it's never too early to start making them or too late to course correct. This is not financial advice, just knowledge so you can make the best decision for yourself. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and consider subscribing. Every week at VestWise, we break down exactly these kinds of topics in a simple way, so the path to financial security feels clear, achievable, and genuinely within reach. And if you want to go even deeper, check out our video on why most people never escape the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle. It pairs perfectly with everything we covered today and gives you the exact system to fix your finances, starting from wherever you are right now. Thanks for watching, and see you very soon. Bye.